Alright, so continuation. Check this out. Junk at its finest. LKQ, ladies and gentlemen, LKQ. This guy here is not doing business with them ever again. This is what they sell you for $2,200, a piece of crap. You know, I mean, that's what that looks like. The thing is got oil all over the place. Nothing on it. What is left on it is busted off of it. Intake is even busted. I hate to be that way, but I'm about to call somebody. Dog next door will not shut up, and they don't mind their dogs. Anyway, where was I at? Garbage. I mean, this is utter garbage. So on the phone, they tell me, oh yeah, I told them about the leaks and everything. Oh yeah, that's part of it. You have to reseal. Anyway, where was I at? I got interrupted one more time. Leaks all over the place. Then they tell you, oh yeah, it's got to be sealed. Guess what? These engines here go for that kind of money. You could get a long block, and that's essentially what it boils down to now. I have to take everything off of it, reseal everything. So I've been better off to send the damn thing off to Missouri into the machine shop and had them rebuild it, which would have been cheaper, and it would have been a better product than what I got now. So, I mean, it's crap. You want to order from them, that's fine, you know. I suggest you're going to go looking for an engine, go look at it. Go physically drive somewhere and look at it and go on with it. Anyway, here's the engine. That's what's going to go in it now. I got to clean everything up. Replace everything, obviously. I want to start on that and get going with the video. Anyway, a little bit on edge today. All the crap that's been happening here, you know, I'm just a little bit on edge. Of course, you're going to run into that kind of stuff right here. It ain't no wonder. You know, people get mad. This shouldn't be that way. You know, used to, you go to the salvage yard to get an engine, you get the whole entire thing. By the way, this is what normally happens to them. Broken, so this is exactly what you get with a Chevrolet Cruze. So if you want to attempt that, there you go, be my guest. Get you some plugs, plug your holes, put a rag or something over the rest. It is particularly important. I cannot even stress to you how important it is. If you use Scotch pad like this, you have to make sure you do not hold it on the edge. Want to flat up as you can possibly be. You do not want to grind any divots. I mean, that's an instant leak. Because these are steel gaskets, you want to stay as flat as humanly possible. Here's another area. I'm not knocking it, but here's another area where the Milwaukee fails. You can't get into the tight space. It's like Grand Central Station up in here today. Where was I at? What was I doing? I have no idea. Okay, we cleaned the exhaust area, and as I was saying, there's a downside on that, the size of the Milwaukee. I'm not knocking the tool, guys, girls, whatever. There's a downside because you have issues getting it in some of the places. That's all I'm saying. The little air tools are a lot better for stuff like that. Remember me telling you about the heated thermostat? Well, they busted everything on here. I hate to. Oh no, I can see it already. This is a GM pump right here. I'm gonna leave that one on there. If it's something that I can leave on it, that's genuine GM. I'm going to leave it on there, and the reason I say that, I know for a fact that the one that I took off is not the genuine item. That's aftermarket. Yeah, like I said, they just busted stuff off of it. This is part of the thermostat here. I'm going to have to take a peek in here, make sure that there ain't nothing left in it. Yeah, there's that part. That's actually pretty clean right there. Looks good. There ain't no debris in there. So the passageways right there, they're very clean. I'm glad for that. We're going to zip all the other stuff that they decided, oh, we'll just bust that off of there. Cut it off. Who needs to unbolt? You get these, I got several of them already, but a lot of times I get one of those bungee bolts, I keep them. This is water. And I don't know what they're thinking. They put the stupid tag, they put it right there on the engine. Right there, look at, I mean, you know, if you're going to find a spot, why not put it on a clean spot? Why won't you put it right there where all the crap is that some people might want to actually remove? But anyway, that's enough of that. Cleaned up. This one here can actually be assembled right at the moment. I'm not going to do anything else on that, but I'm contemplating whether or not to take the pan off, and I may go ahead and do that. But the pan is sealed with a sealer only, so it can actually be undone with no problem. I'm going to pause you back up. So clean up all your surfaces. That goes without saying, or at least it should. I cleaned the intake surface where the intake bolts onto, obviously, and went ahead, put the our intake on it. Cleaned up the face of the thermostat. The other one I decided I'm going to leave on there, and I've also decided, due to warranty issues, I think I'm going to just leave the oil pan on it, because I can take it off later on if I need to. If it becomes a problem, I'll do it later. And I was actually thinking about cleaning the engine up. I'm not going to do that either. I'm going to wait till I get. There's more friggin' water coming out of it. God almighty, they can't even drain the water out of it. I'm going to wait till I get the engine put back in the car. I'll spit that out in just a second. So I'm going to wait till I get that put in the car and go from there. I think it'd be a mistake for me to try to do that right now. So we've got everything cleaned up. Got to be, of course, I'm going to have to be really careful here with my plugs to not get anything in the oil. I might give that a little spritz of air, blow some of the rough off of it. Maybe at least get some of it blowed off. All the while being careful not to blow through that oil hole. I really don't want to mess with that too much. Naturally, everything is going to leaking. Sorry you can't see. I'll just wipe this off. This seal right here is fairly new. Oh, you can't see. This seal is fairly new. I'm not going to replace it. That should be good. My O-ring is new. Yep, we are leaking. Make sure there ain't no dirt in here. Move you over a little bit. That was very light on torque, just in case somebody is having a meltdown right now. I will link the torque specs. Face that clamp down. I know that's a little bit more difficult to get to once you're in the vehicle, but I think it's still going to be okay. I mean, it's not a problem to get it. I'm right in front of you anyhow. So always save your caps. Pause you back up. Ready to, got a new gasket on, new exhaust gasket on here. Ready to slip that back on. You want to get you a couple of nuts ready. Now that I'm ready for this is when I'm going to pull the plug out of the bottom. I did go ahead and clean that up, just in case you're worried about that. Went ahead and cleaned the hole up with a brush. For the moment, all I'm concerned with is that right there. So we can get to the bolt holes for that bracket very easily. Nothing obstructed. Alright, so I done cleaned the bracket a while ago. I'll put two of them started. Make sure that you find your banjo bolt and get it on there so you don't have that hose dangling down. It's starting to get a little bit messy here. Can't find it. Because I laid it over here, maybe. These copper washers are new. If you want to get copper washers, get you a whole set. They're handy to have anyway. get them over there, Harbor Freight, a whole lot cheaper than what you can a single copper washer at the parts store. And make sure this don't roll on you. Once you're doing it, you understand what I'm talking about. Okay, this is perfectly fine here. That should be good and sealed right there. Obviously, we got to hook a water line back up here. We got to put the bolt in it as well. So I got to get the nuts off the studs that we pulled out, if you remember that from the first video, or in the first video. We bolt this up, tighten the hose clamps, start sequencing these here. But before we do that, of course, we still got to put the jumper line that goes from back behind here into the oil filter housing. It is this, let's see what I did with it. Where did I put you, little baby? Oh, right quick, while I'm looking for the other one, I'm probably going to just pause you up. Busted. Once again, these things always show up busted. So I'm telling you that that's something you need to hang on to, or be real careful with. Not hang on to. I mean, you're gonna hang on to it anyway, but be real careful with it. This seal here should be fine. These O-rings have been replaced, by the way, so you kind of want to start them together. They get a little bit twisted sometimes, but anyway, get something to actually be able to turn that. Now, this, you'll have to be careful with this. This is oil. Now, you don't want to get anything into that line. That's bad news. Kind of try to keep them together. That bolt right there is real short. I'll put that on here so that line can't pop out when we tighten the rest of it up. Just remember, everything here needs to be tightened up. Whoa! Just remember, everything needs to be tightened up, because I sure did not. There's one thing I forgot to do. That's that bolt right there. When I looked at that, I got ahead of myself there. I'm not going to call out the sizes again. You know you're going to have them. You will need a complete set of those sockets. And also, it don't take nothing to strip those out. Keep that in mind. Bend your bolts tight. Okay, got this whole assembly on there. Now I'm going to work on my, well, actually, I cleaned the bracket up. As I said, I did clean that up. We'll go ahead and slip that in. This is the tang that the drain back actually goes in. That's what we were talking about yesterday. I mean, not yesterday, the last video. So it's probably better, you're probably better off to go ahead and remove this whole entire bracket. I think you'd be better served doing it. Just go ahead and doing it. Wrong socket. What'd I do with you? What'd I do with you? There it is. Starting to get a little bit messy around here. That's that. Pause you up for a little bit. So all of that is good. I'm going to take the hose off, tighten this up. Exhaust. Catalytic converter anyway. 2 bolts. The bracket that we bolted on earlier, that's also got that D10 for that drain back. You've noticed I didn't tighten it super tight, and I had to pump it just a little bit with a hammer. So my exhaust lines straight up. You want to make sure that this is all good and lined up. If it doesn't fit together, something is not right. And done this yet. This is a different size. Actually, I think I did this one here. I'll make sure that all of them are tight. So now we have our oil assembly. Got a manifold. I had to put some nuts. If you can't, all right, let me start over. Some of these here, you won't be able to put regular nuts, but everything from here in the corner all the way around on the bottom can have regular nuts. Not a problem at all. So all of that is torqued up. I got my thermostat housing over here bolted up. Got my hose connected. Vacuum line connected. Fixing to pull the clip back out of this. Almost feel bad because I put the wrong clip in this. Or did I do it? I don't know. Somebody did. I may have. I don't know. Don't remember it. Doesn't matter. Either way, it's the wrong one. You got to kind of watch that because there's a certain clip that goes in it and a certain one does not. If you feel like something is about to break, it probably is. Just stop. This plastic here, it's not. Make sure you don't double O-ring that. This one here is new. It's been replaced. And don't do it like that. Anything pertaining to an O-ring. Now watch how big a difference it actually makes. Now I was just pushing pretty hard. Put a little bit of grease on it, and man, it makes all the difference in the world. I should have done it in the first place. I thought I might get it in there. You know, it's put a little bit of lubrication on the O-rings, make a world of difference. All right. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. So we've got all of the stuff buttoned up. All right. Transmission time. Pause you up. I guess I should have turned that camera on. These things here generally go together really easy. I mean, really no problem to put them together. Of course, it's easy. It is easier for me to say it because I manipulated with this. I mean, I pulled it right on there, basically in a nutshell. But I promise you, these will go together really, really easy. Don't bind them. Whatever you do, just don't bind them. Again, use the ratchet wrench faster. Maybe even if you had a gap and you're worried about it, go around to the other side where the hole is, and kind of I'm sticking my finger in the starter hole right now, and I'm turning the torque converter a little bit, just to say, okay, we're doing it, you know. And put this back over here. I'll use it over here, and we'll pull the other side a little bit. Easy does it. You know, it's not a race. Now again, go back to your torque converter, spin your torque converter. Nice and smooth. Got your 215s on the bottom, and just remember those. I'm kind of running this one up the hand. So let's run up, torque converter the whole entire time. Torque converter sit there spinning free as free can be. Once again, I've got the naysayers out there. Go back here. I'm not going to get in the camera. I mean, it spins really free. Really, really free. So, I mean, whatever. I'm not going to get into a debate on it. Torque that up. These wrenches here are a tad bit longer than the standard wrench, so they put a pretty good amount of torque on it, and that's all I'm going to do. Complain about it. Sometimes people wind themselves up a little bit too much over trivial things. This is not going to come apart. Never had one come apart yet. Now, of course, procedure changes a little bit on putting all the bolts in, obviously, because if you remember, for part one, I took everything apart over here before we unbuckled the transmission. So I could have put the transmission on earlier. I could have done that. There's no particular reason why I didn't. It's not a problem. The bolts can still go in, obviously. So, same here, that's good and torqued. The 15, one more time, the 15s are on the bottom. In this case here, they're on the pan right there. This one is over by the exhaust outlet, so can't miss it. And they're 15 millimeter headed bolts, so can't miss it. We'll do those later. Put my wrench back in the cubby hole here. Now I'm going to admit I don't know if this is going to work here or not. I might have just made myself look bad. Yeah, we'll have to have a... no, this will actually work. I thought we might have to have the actual wobble, but this one here will work. Let me get you flipped around so you don't flip out. Okay, this is a different style. Actually, I was wrong. That is a different style. That's fine. That one will have to have the that one don't have to have the rubber, I don't think. You know, that's the only rubber piece that I had, so this is a different style right here. I was going to tell you about it, but never mind. I'll have to go look that up online before I get that done. So, next operation. We'll roll our engine. E18 in case anybody wonders. Again, I'll show you. I'm gonna give you a better camera angle right there. All right, so this is where I'm working right there. Like I said, I was gonna show you that rubber in there, but never mind on that. Because I wasn't actually going to film that part. Loctite. Up here is a plug we remove. You can turn your torque converter. You got to spin it till you... Oh man, that was right there in front of my noggin. Do you see a hole right there lying up? We'll have to spin them all the way in. We'll roll the engine. Guys, I can't see. Come on now. I'm starting to get irritated with it. Right there's another one. You can see that. Like I said, they'll have to go in all the way. They may not let you spin it all the way around. I don't know. I always do it the same way. Okay. Now I'm satisfied. Bolts. These are the bolts now that I was telling you have to be cleaned. The threads have to be cleaned, dried, and I applied the blue thread locker. Now that all the bolts are in, we can go ahead and snug that up. I'll link the torque spec. I'll link it. When I'm doing the video. Alright, so, alright, that's a good example of what I was just saying. Here's a real good example. I'm just a little bit too far out with it. If you notice, I try to roll the engine, it wouldn't roll. So we'll have to go in a little bit and find the culprit. Ah, there's the culprit right there. That one isn't in far enough. I thought I had it far enough, but I didn't. Well, there's a culprit right there. Now there's the reason I said it, and I'm actually glad it happened. Now you actually know why I said what I said. Guess I really should have tightened and used the socket. I'm trying to spin up a hand. Almost. Inspect your inspect your flex plate. No plugs in this engine, no coil. They stripped everything out of it. Oh yeah. All right, so that's torqued up, and I am going to take a break. Alternator, not going to go back on that and explain all of it. Alternator, the tensioner, you got to fold up, the tensioner folded up, leave the top of the belt off the water pump basically, get the bottom tightened up, twist down, throw it over. Same on the other side, we did the bracket, the triangular bracket, if you remember that. The triangular bracket for AC, bolt the AC up, done. Tighten your 15 millimeter, done. You know, the 15 millimeter headed bolts going into the transmission, done. So everything here is back the way it's supposed to be. I went ahead and I put the knock sensor back on. Tighten it up. The bottom bolt on the starter, leave it loose because that's where the ground goes. So time to clean this mess up a little bit and take a little breather. Well, take a little breather, I say that. What I mean by that, actually I'm knocking off for the night. It is late enough for me, not late, but late enough for me. I just don't want to do anymore. Like I said, it's going to be cleanup time and we're off again tomorrow. Lord knows that ain't the only stupid thing I ever do, but out of all the things that I could have did, and I'm just going to go ahead and admit to it, yesterday, well actually it was yesterday, part one of the video, you know, where I stripped everything off. What I didn't do, there's one thing that I actually forgot to do. I had newer, you can only say it like that, I had newer spark plugs in the engine, and that's one thing I forgot to take out of that, the other engine. And I've got more spark plugs here, and they're not bad. I mean, they're all good plugs. You know, I've had several engines here, and so anyway, it happens. Okay, looking around at it. Whoa, forgot one of them there, ladies and gentlemen, forgot one. Motor mount on the exhaust side. I did forget that one. That is an important one, and yes, I did forget. So anyway, now we're ready. All right, so I'm sure we're on the same page. I ended up putting everything on, so I got that covered. So now this is a little bit later, of course, as you probably well aware. Of course, we're going back in with the unit. Let me put it like this. Over the years, I've learned that you go slow to go fast. Meaning that take your time. You know, there's no need in rushing this part here. Make sure you got all your angles covered. Matter of fact, I'm going to do a little prepping, like the hose is right over here. I'm going to tidy some of that stuff up to where I got a clean shot going down so we don't hit on anything, we're not destroying anything going back down. Anyway, pause you up. Alright, what I just did, so we got it lowered in. I don't think we damaged anything. I heard one noise, but I don't think it was anything. I checked, couldn't see anything. I did take the motor mount off. Now, I didn't do that the last time. I hated to do that because I don't know how difficult it is to get this thing back on, but we'll see. Remember that on the other side, that motor mount is also off, and that one we're not going to put the we're not going to put the top mount on the transmission just yet. We want to go underneath and see what's going on with that. Well, I wasn't holding my mouth just right, and hindsight 2020, of course. In a sense, I wish I wouldn't have done that now, because as I figured, this is going to be a little bit more difficult to get to. Quite a bit more difficult to get to, actually. Like I said, hindsight 2020, it is what it is. Of course, fortunately, I have the tools you might not have, so that's going to be the biggest difference in it. So anyway, the reason I did that just so I can rock that engine. I mean, that's 4 or 5 inches worth of clearance right there. Sometimes you just got to take your time and go slow to go fast. But anyway, pause you up again. Engine in, motor mounts are tight. Figured out what the plasticky sound was that fell on the floor. Really thought I broke something off, and actually just that. Snaps in there. That's all it was. I knew I heard something, didn't know what it was. Now I do. The hose we can hook up, fairly certain of it, and then we're going to have to do some laying out on the wires. And truth to be known, so now that we got the engine back in, like I said, motor mounts are tight, all that stuff is done. Yes, wires going to be first, because it's easier to do the wires without the CV axles in it. So we're going to get that buttoned up. I'm not going to film that because we've already did that in part 1. Yep, we did that in part 1. I'm not going to film that, so here we are. Dorman 14104. That's the clip for the transmission cable. Oh, a couple of beers later, made all the connections. Up there, alternator starter. I'm sure you can see all that. Crankshaft position sensor. All that is done. Motor mounts are in. Like I said, we got to do a little bit of cleaning up. This was from the previous engine, by the way. All that oil, that's definitely from the previous engine. So next thing is the CV axles. I'll put them in. Oh, this is not, whoa. Whoa. Not too big of a deal to put the CV axles in these. Generally, on these cars, they're not hard to come apart when you're dealing with the lower parts, like your A-arm assemblies and all that good stuff. It's not that hard to come apart. Generally, they're very cooperative. At least here they are. See, I mean, we don't hardly have a problem with that. So anyway, I'm gonna pause you back up, and I'm gonna get that done. So we got all of that stuff together. I'm not going to waste the antifreeze just yet. Maybe just a hair bit low. Now this engine, like I said, don't have water in it yet, so I'm not going to put anything in it until I know it's going to fire over and run without killing us in here. Starts knocking, rattling, or anything like that. You don't want to do that. Not smoking. Can't leave it running very long. There's a little bit of liquid still in the block, but not a lot. Didn't sound like any leaks. There's a couple more items that I got to get from from a donor car. One of them is impact sensor on this car that's missing. The heat shield for the exhaust, that was missing, so that's something that I'm going to get. I want to put this back on. Like I said, the shift bushing is on there. Obviously, I did that before I done the other mess. So you know, matter of getting some antifreeze in it now and leave it running a little while. Let it heat, go to a hot cycle, and see if we can make it happen. I'm gonna pause you back up. So the vehicle has been road tested. Well, everything worked out fine. As far as I know, it's still doing good. It's actually been on the road for a little while now, so customer took possession of it. In case I didn't mention it, that was promised to one of my customers. But anyway, We got some miles on it now. Everything worked out fine, and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you guys for watching. Comments in the comment section. Like, subscribe.